Hello and welcome to the Mog House. This special edition, number 3, will have a very fun little video that you'll get to participate in. All right, so I'd like to introduce our casters today. You have Mr. Gibson.
Hello.
You have Groobs.
Hey.
And then you have, of course, yours truly, Marissya. Nice to see you all here tonight. Thank you for joining us. We will again be announcing a winner at the end of this. We have to have 10 subscribers tonight in order to hit it. So make sure you're hitting that follow button. And once we hit 10 at the end of the cast, there will be a winner of a Final Fantasy XIV copy of the game for free. One lucky winner. All right. So as usual, we like to start off with some quotes from our members, things that make us giggle and laugh, and we don't always let them know that we're putting these on here. I'd really like to throw this one out because every time it happens, and it still happens pretty much every day that this particular member is playing. This one says, "Is there no way to move forward in this game?" This person in particular is speaking about the ability to move forward, quite literally just move. Thank you, Sin, for that wonderful comment. Every day that you say that again and again and again, I giggle every time. I believe that you guys also have some quotes, Mr. Grooves.
Yes, we do. I have one from yourself, actually.
Oh.
I will shoot you with laser poop.
I forgot that I said that.
And she wonders how she got the nickname Poopy.
Pretty fitting.
Yeah.
Well, things happen, and there's a book about it called Everybody Poops, Laser poop is apparently another one. So
Must have missed that chapter.
Yes, it's the clip out chapter.
The sealed
Excellent.
section.
Did you have any, Gibson?
I didn't have any quotes for this week, but so I got the video put together, which you'll hear me say a lot of stuff in there.
Oh yes, this video, guys, this is a treat for us who are watching this stream tonight. This is going to be taking us into something called ST, which is Syrcus Tower, Syrcus Tower. Everybody says a little bit different, but it's one of the 24-man raids in Final Fantasy XIV. It's a lot of fun, and there's some really funny things that happen, and you're going to watch a hilarious video of facepalm moments right about just a minute here. We'll get that going for you guys. Again, thank you guys for joining us.
Hello, everyone. This is Gibson from the Final Fantasy XIV chapter of Grievance. I hope those of you that have been watching these bi-weekly broadcasts have found them fun, informative, and a positive reflection of our members and the game itself. As we have shown previously, there are some amazing aspects of gameplay and encounters in this beautiful game. However, just like all MMOs, a lot of it is dependent on those that you play with. This is especially true when running content with a pickup group, where you never know who or what you're going to get. In this week's segment, I break down some of the more painful acts of silliness I've encountered while randomly grouping with people. Okay, so before I get into the instances of facepalm-inducing events that I encountered, I just want to preface by saying by no means am I trying to intentionally belittle or put down someone who makes a mistake in the game. I am certainly guilty of doing that on many occasions and have messed up many times and died many times as well. In fact, within the next couple weeks, who knows, maybe we'll see a death montage video of all the stupid stuff Gibson has done. So the events that I happened to capture this week took place in Syrcus Tower, which is the second level of Crystal Tower. And those of you that happened to watch maybe some of our live stream a couple weeks ago probably have already seen some grievance members run through Syrcus Tower together. It's a 24-man instance, 3 groups of 8, and most people do as we did, is run as an entire group of 8, but it's also entirely puggable, which is what a lot of people do, especially now that the content in Syrcus Tower has been out for what seems like 9 or 10 weeks. So most people know what's going on. You can run it multiple times a week until you get a piece of loot, which is basically what Syrcus Tower is. It's a loot pinata. You can use it to either gear up your main class with a specific itemization gear piece that you're looking for. You can use it to gear up alternate job classes. And now since it drops Sands of Time and Oil of Time and Elegant Tombstones, you can also use it to upgrade some of your current gear to the highest level in the game. So it's a nice way for people to gear up who are making a transition from instances into some higher level rating content. So before I actually demonstrate and talk through and show the crazy stuff that I saw happen, the WTF moments, I kind of want to explain some of the mechanics. So when we get to that point, you'll understand how the people messed up or how they should have approached those particular situations. So the first mechanic here is the ice orb. And so periodically you'll be linked to a particular type of orb. One of those types is the ice orb. You can tell it's an ice orb because it's giant and blue and looks like a big ball of ice following you around. And when it happens to touch you, and it will catch you, you turn into a giant, in this case, a barred popsicle, or whatever class you're playing. And then you're pretty much stuck there for the duration until someone utilizes a second mechanic to break you out. It's really just an inconvenience. It's a DPS loss or a healing loss, depending upon your class, but there's really nothing negative that you can do with it unless you choose to run your orb into a pool of water, thus freezing every single person in there, but that rarely happens. Now the second type of orb that can follow you is the fire orb, and again, it's pretty obvious. When it's a fire orb, it's giant and glowy and on fire. It looks like it would hurt to touch. And it will also chain to you, and it will follow you around, and it will eventually catch you. This one causes a little bit of damage and also some splash damage. People are around you when it hits you. It is designed to not reach you, but to be used in conjunction with the ice orb, which would be the perfect combination. Sometimes people mess up with the fire orb in that they think that they can outrun it, or they run it into a group of people, or they run it into a pool of water, which just ends up evaporating that pool of water, which you may need in a little bit. So in a perfect situation, you have someone who is trapped in the ice orb and they're frozen in place. Then you have someone else who has a fire orb attached to them. They simply run over to the person in the ice orb. The fire melts the ice, it breaks that person out, and everyone is happy. This also creates a pool of water on the ground, which allows you to negate a mechanic further into the fight. So here's a little clip of what it should look like. There we have on the right side of the screen, someone has been frozen in an ice orb, and then subsequently I get targeted with the fire orb. So I just simply run back to that person and I stand by them so the fire orb touches the ice orb and it breaks them out. Okay, notice it does create a little bit of damage to the person who is in the ice, so you have to make sure that they at least have some health. Otherwise the fire orb just ends up blowing them up, which at times can be fun, but probably not really conducive to winning the fight. Okay, so let's see what happens when you have no idea what you're doing and don't pay attention to mechanics and the problems that can arise from that. So I knew from the beginning that this group was going to be a little rough. All 5 DPS were bards. Some people probably say that 1 bard is 1 too many, but 5 is even too many for my liking. So I guess you could say we were doomed from the beginning with that many bards. So for this particular instance, the fight starts out pretty good. You know, I mean, everyone's still alive. We're going good. One of our DPS just got the ice orb there, so he goes off and gets frozen. And now at this point, someone just needs to break him out. Whoever gets the fire orb, right? And we're in business. So this bard back there gets the fire orb, runs towards the guy iced, and then completely runs away from him. Oh, but wait, let me just run this back and drop it off in your lap there. So he obviously had to have seen the person there in ice. He ran right towards them. And then he's like, lol, JK, I'm going to go over here with my fire orb. Oh, wait, I think I'm just going to drop it right off here in your lap because obviously you could use that. So maybe he had his blinders on. I don't know what he was thinking. But on the Gibson scale, he gets 3 out of 5 WTFs. Come on, man. What are you doing? Now, luckily, someone from another group happened to come by and rescue that person and knock them out of the ice there. So at least we can depend on someone else completely not in our group to take care of that to create that pool for us. This is a 3rd type of orb. It's the disco orb, basically. So we're back to normal, right? We got the pool there that we need to jump into. One of our healers just got iced. Okay, so it would be nice to break that healer out. Redemption time, right? Same bard gets fire orb. Again, worst possible thing you could do with it. There's a healer right there that needs to be broken out, but instead he runs it into the pool of water, which we're going to need. He could have literally just stood there and done nothing, and it would have broken the healer out. One step forward, he could have done anything. Instead, he runs complete wrong direction. And then his buddy bard over there just stands there doing nothing and takes it to the face, while a healer, who is literally like 5 yards away from him, is sitting there frozen, trying to figure out what to do. So for that particular event, compounded with what they did before, I give that guy 4 out of 5 face palms. Okay, well, that's going to be a wrap for this particular session. I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary and the drawings and the various types of situations that I encountered recently. I'm pretty sure that all of us as gamers, no matter what game we play, we're put in those situations where we kind of have to scratch our heads sometimes and wonder, what the heck is that other player thinking? What are they doing? We've probably been on both sides of that particular situation. So hope you enjoyed the broadcast session. If you guys have any ideas on what you may want me to try and create videos of or comment on in the future, please just drop me a line on the forum and I will do my best to try and put together an entertaining video for you. Good night.
All right, guys. So I hope that you enjoyed that very humorous video. Thank you so much, Gibson, for providing that walkthrough. That was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. You go into those types of experiences and don't expect to, have a perfect run every single time you go with a pug. But I was pretty fortunate to capture some pretty, eventful, runs there and got some good laughs out of it.
Yeah, that was extremely worthy. I love that. So in the future, we'll be including a few more videos every once in a while, just as little special editions, just to add into the news, because not only are they informative to show you what not to do, or if you're a troll, what to do to be the ultimate troll. Thank you. That's actually a perfect example of what Groobs did to me as a healer.
Not even close. I ran it around in circles around you.
Yes, he ran circles around me with the fireball. and laughed at me while I was a frozen block of ice. That was
was
pretty
fun.
spectacular. It was very fun. All right, so now we're on to the news section. We have some reports from a recent patch update that actually happened yesterday morning at 6 a.m. Pacific time. And there was also some release notes on 2.4, which is coming out at the end of August. Yes, ninja! Everybody wants to be a ninja. There's going to be a million ninjas. It's going to be insane. I won't be one. I'll just be around with everybody else as a ninja. All right. So some things that happened yesterday with the hotfix is about the new quick exploration with your retainers. Now, if you don't play the game, a retainer are these little servants. They really are. They're servants that also are your bank. You store things with them, and you can send them out on explorations and hunt missions on their own. They just go out for anywhere between an hour to 18 hours. Once they're at a high level, you can send them out on the quick exploration venture. Now, this venture is releasing, really rare items, everything from furniture to pieces of gear, really, really neat stuff. Things that you just, wow, I can't believe that my little servant would bring stuff like that back to me, So things that they're adding to it, which is very exciting. For me, it's really fun because I am really into glamoring my armor and having really unique dyes. What they've released finally, which for many of us that play, you've seen the little rainbow colored area of your dye area, and that shows you prismatic dyes and a pure white. So that's actually what's finally coming out is the pure white, the jet black, the metallic silver, and the metallic gold are all there. So make sure that you are on your retainers and send them out on those quick exploration ventures. And if they're not high enough a level, you need to get them out there and start using them every day. Send them on the long ones to get them leveled up so that they can actually bring home some goodies like the dyes, which I want to do. So Gibson, on to you.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the new class that's actually coming out with patch 2.4. It's the Rogue. So this has some notes here and hopefully some information I can provide you about the new class coming out. If you're interested in playing it, maybe have some background information going in. According to the website, it looks like the quest to start the Rogue is going to be in Limsa, the Buccaneers Haven is what they call it. And based on the background information, it seems like they're almost kind of like a Robin Hood type group of people. It says how they, pillage from the rich and then provide back to the poor. And even their outfits seem like a little kind of in the Robin Hood type theme. They're a dual wield class, so it's very similar to pugilist or monk, where you're only going to need to acquire one weapon. You're not going to need to run through a set of dungeons to get like a right-hand dagger and then try and run it again to get a left-hand dagger. You get one weapon, which is equipped in both hands. Some of the benefits that they talked about rogues having, one is a faster movement speed. However, we don't know if that is something that's only out of combat or if it's something that you can turn on in combat, or if maybe there's a penalty associated with it. Like you can have faster movement speed, but you do 10% less damage or you take 10% more damage. So we aren't real clear on those mechanics, as well as the fall damage as well. It says that rogues will have reduced fall damage, which I don't know how that's going to apply to the game either, because right now you can't die from falling unless you're in combat. And there's not really any instances in dungeons or raids where reduced fall damage would be hugely important for survivability. So maybe that gives us a hint as far as going forward what maybe some of the new mechanics are going to be, and maybe some of the upcoming raids or upcoming dungeons, and that you can anticipate maybe having to jump on different platforms or being thrown up in the air and having to avoid damage using that mechanic. It also says that they have poisons, which they apply to their daggers. And so this is pretty interesting because they said different poisons will be needed for different situations. So could be a buff or a debuff type thing for other classes, just like how a bard plays songs. Or maybe it's a buff or a buff for the rogue themselves. And it also brings up some other questions as far as, well, how do we get these poisons, and are they like a spell that you would click on your bar and it would automatically just switch your daggers or that poison, or is it something that you would have to actually like physically apply before the battle? And so that brings into play, well, are these things that like botanists would have to go out and collect, like a certain herb that then maybe an alchemist would turn into a poison. So maybe there's a whole new market there. When patch 2.4 comes out, maybe there'll be new nodes for botanists to get new types of plants, and maybe alchemists can kind of get into the market with creating poisons for then the rogues to buy to put on their daggers. So no one really knows about that yet. The only thing we know is they're going to be kind of poison based. And the other mechanic is that they're getting stealth. And so this is kind of the first class we have with stealth, which people who enjoy PvP are probably salivating over that. The idea of, stealthing around and, ninjing nodes, capturing flags, whatnot. It's really not sure how we're going to see it in PvE, since there are certain mechanics of the class that they said you'll only get skills when you're in stealth mode. So maybe you can pop in and out of stealth while you're in combat to use a special combo against an enemy. Maybe it's something that's only out of combat, and then you get a special set of openers to pop out of stealth and like sneak attack. But again, we don't know any of the real skills that rogues have that go along with that. And then the last thing I would mention is Groobs is going to talk about what a rogue will eventually turn into in terms of a job. But down the road, even if you're not really planning on playing a ninja, you might want to invest some time in at least leveling up the rogue, maybe to level 34, because you never know when the expansion hits what type of cross-class skills will be used with it. Maybe even in the current job that you have, there'll be one or two skills that you may want to look to switch in and out from the rogue tree that would benefit you.
And you also have to consider that it's very reminiscent of Final Fantasy XI's thief class. Does that remind you of it a little bit?
I was just going to say, yeah, with the sneak attack and whatnot, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was something in the live letter, they were actually asked about the thief class. And the producers said how the thief class didn't really fit in with the mechanics that they wanted. So I think this is all we're going to get. We're going to get the rogue and a ninja, and don't plan on there being a thief class later.
Yeah, like a thief ninja hybrid.
Yeah, they'd mentioned that on Blue Mage too, that Blue Mage didn't quite fit into the architecture of the game, both on just designing it to work, and then also on how it would affect the player community, so that people wouldn't get left out.
Blue Mage.
Oh, Blue Mage, yeah. So on
yeah.
to you, Groobs. You're talking about...
Yeah, the main job class at level 30 will be ninja, obviously. There's a little bit of a spiel here I'm meant to read as well. Hailing from the war-torn lands of the Far East, the secret arts of the ninja were born of necessity, and have since given rise to a unique breed of highly trained combatants. Able to manipulate the vital energies of the land, the air, and living beings, they manifest their power through the weavings of signs, unleashing a wide array of attacks against their foes. Master of the arts of the ninja, and learn to bend the tide of battle to your will. The quest to unlock ninja will be obviously available at level 30, as all the others are. The secondary class hasn't been announced officially. I'm thinking it'd probably be a black mage, being it's spell-based as well. Any thoughts?
Thaumaturge, you mean?
Well, yeah, would be Thaumaturge, because that's the black mage sub.
Yeah, it could be, or I'm guessing that I know it says spell-based, but it's hard to say. Maybe they sometimes like to throw curveballs. They'll say like, "Oh, you think it's black mage or what, or thaumaturge? Oh, you know what, pugilist."
Yeah, well, see, being two-handed weapons, it could be as well.
Yeah, that's why I kind of thought it could go different directions.
Have they actually said what the ninja? I've lost my train of thought now. Have they actually said what the... No, I've lost it. Train of thought's gone.
Are you getting at like what the type of mechanic will be for their usage, like either mana or TP?
Yeah, have they actually said anything about that at all?
I haven't heard anything if they're going to be mana based or TP based, or some other new type of resource that's used. I figure if it was TP based, it would probably have some type of cross-class skill with, pugilist or dragoon, so they get the type of invigorate aspect of it, But if it's
Yeah.
mana based, who knows?
Well, even then, they could still do even if it's a combination of the two, being that it's the spell casting and also a TP based for different maneuvers. Maybe it uses TP and MP for some moves.
Right.
Yeah, very well could. I like where they're going with it, though, kind of not following the footsteps of the traditional rules that they've added in previous iterations of the game. It's very, very cool.
And they look really cool. If you haven't checked out the animations of the different mantras, I believe they call mantras that they cast. So it's almost like Naruto type style things, kind of reminded me of. And it seems like this is a pretty cool moves. There's one video and picture kind of floating around where you see like the ninja like jumped up on Ifrit's head, and he's about to just like stab him in the eyeballs with his daggers, like a finishing move or something. So it looks like there's some pretty cool physical mechanics that are involved with the class.
Yes, they are awesome. Very acrobatic class. There is another last bit of news above and beyond that. This update came from Final Fantasy XIV's official Twitter page, which is at Final Fantasy _news_en. And they are saying that they are pleased to announce a long-awaited change to the Fantasia purchasing service. So before, you were limited to, you could buy one Fantasia, and then I believe it's a 3-pack, and then a 4 or 5-pack or something like that. And that was it. Once you bought those, if you're someone who's really fickle and you like to change your characters, or if you have more than obviously one, you ran out of those, and then that was a permanent thing. You were done. You could never change your character again. And they realized that was something that didn't go well with the community. And so beginning in mid-October, players will have the option to purchase Fantasia and the desired quantities for individual characters. They're going to conclude any current purchasing options for Fantasia on the mob station. They conclude at 8 p.m. Pacific time on October 19th. So this is really, really soon, just over a week away, and we'll see these changes happening. Anything else you guys would like to add?
Did you want to talk about the extra life thing?
Yeah, just make sure if there's anything you guys wanted to add before I say that.
Okay.
No, you're good. Okay. I'd like to close out making sure. What? Oh, you have something to say?
No, I was just going to say we've had a few members join the guild during the week. I'd like to just quickly welcome those people. And if they do see us on, need a hand with anything or need some gear made or whatever, just give us a yell and we'll sort you out.
Always happy to help. And if we have any viewers that are viewing us currently live or after the fact, all you need to do is visit us. I believe that our website is actually on the cast right now on the screen right below Gibson's name is grievancegaming.org. And all you do is sign up on the forums. Someone approves you, and then you say why you want to join Final Fantasy to join with us, this huge family. We're super awesome people to play with. We have a good time. As you can see, we do some kind of funny stuff. We're a bunch of characters. So we would love to see you guys on there. And I want to make sure that I discuss Extra Life, which is happening on October 25th. Etoxin is the one who really started this, and thank you for what you're doing with this. This is such a big deal. He's actually part of our Final Fantasy XIV charter, but he brought this to our attention as a guild, and we have well over 7,500 members. So many of us are going to be donating our time and money on the 25th to stream our gameplay for 4 hours. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have the gamer girls there. We're going to have individual players. We're all signed up on the grievance team, and here I'm going to go ahead and link it. If you guys either want to donate or join us, would love to see some signups. That should be showing up if you're not viewing this live. It should show up on the feed, and you just copy down that. It's just Extra Life. Search for the Grievance Gaming team if you need to do it that way. It's such a big deal. It's the Children's Miracle Network, and it really is helping children that have serious diseases. And not just diseases, also children who are recovering from very serious injuries from accidents and whatnot. Horrible things. But this is a positive place. And with your donation and then for your time, you are doing something that is amazing in support of these children. So remember, October 25th, mark your calendars. And do we have any questions from the crowd tonight?
The chat room's been pretty tame tonight.
Yeah.
It has been pretty tame tonight.
Not normally the rowdy bunch we're used to.
Yeah, right? I guess we'll close out. I want to say thank you all for joining us, and have a wonderful and safe weekend, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Unfortunately, we did not get the subscribers this time, but that game copy will be waiting. It's there for next time, so maybe tweet this out. We are on Twitter as well, and you can find me as well attached to the Grievance Gaming Twitter, so I also do tweet that out. I just have to remember what my Twitter is called.
Gibson's going to make a fortune selling those autographed pictures.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, don't forget any of those hand-drawn.
Is he selling them as a box set or individual pieces?
You can buy them individually for $5, or you can get the group of all four for $16.
Nice. No free set of steak knives or anything to go with that?
No, but they are numbered. There's only a limited edition of 100 copies sent out. So
that's awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you again so much. And join us on Twitter, on our website,